So it's Leonie Carpenter for Chelsea Fans TV, joined by, of course, Lewis. It's a draw, Lewis. It's at the Bridge. What did you make of that game?
Kind of the same things we've seen over the last 4 years. It just reared its ugly head again. The finishing, we never really get made to pay for it, especially this season. We never really had to suffer for our poor finishing, but it's shown today. And I don't really know if you can blame anyone specifically, because I see people going after Ross Barkley individually or going after Kai Havertz individually, but our finishing's just been poor overall. I was saying, I feel bad for the poor fuckers at the top of Shed Upper. They were getting shots licked at them the whole second half. Ross Barkley was skying shots. I forgot how poor his finishing was. Kai Havertz as well. He should have had at least 2 or 3 goals. Credit he got the first one. It was a nice assist by Reece James. But 1 goal is never going to be enough. I don't care if it's Burnley. Whatever team in the Premier League, 1 goal is never a good enough lead to relax on. And I don't know if it's complacency from us or if it's just a poor asset of our game that's just finally been exposed. But our finishing's always been bad. It's been bad since 16-17 when we had Diego Costa and Hazard at the club. It's not been any good since then. And it showed its head today. And you could easily say, yeah, we could have Lukaku on the pitch and then he would have buried those chances. But we play Lukaku and the team doesn't know how to work with him. So that's his own separate problem. Whenever we play Lukaku, we don't seem to feed the ball up to him quickly enough. And he always seems to have to drop deeper to collect the ball. When we don't play with Lukaku, we play with much better chemistry in the attacking third. But we either barely make chances or we make chances and we're so poor at the finish. I don't know what it is with us, but in the attacking third, we're just not good enough right now.
No, not clinical enough indeed. So let's say you were Thomas Tuchel today. Would you have made any changes at all? Would you have brought on substitutions earlier or even with the starting 11?
And this ain't to put any slander on him, but I wouldn't have played Kante in this game. The game doesn't suit him. When you're dominating possession and you're playing a team that's going to sit deep, you don't need someone of Kante's profile, because Kante's best asset is break-up play. He's got nothing to break up, so you don't really need him on the pitch. You need someone who's a lot more comfortable on the ball, someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And off the form that he had in that Malmo game, it's even more baffling that we benched him. I'm not going to say too much because it's Thomas Tuchel. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't care. Play Rudiger up front if you want to. I'll believe it. That's the way it's been with him over the last few months. But it still wasn't the right move for me. Ross Barkley, I understand you putting him in over Ziyech, but I just don't trust this guy as a starter. I trust him as a bench player that you can bring on for impact. As a starter, I think he just takes too long on the ball. When he's finishing, the guy leans back so much. He must do, because that's the only reason why every single one of his shots gets skied. So I don't know if he was the right option for us either in this game. We might as well have just started Christian Pulisic. But I think that one's more based on hindsight. In terms of the lineup, there wasn't really that much wrong. The biggest shock was Kante starting for me. Yeah. Other than that, I was okay with the lineup. It should be enough to go and beat Burnley. But it doesn't account for the poor finishing. And these players need to be more decisive in front of goal. And it's not even just when it comes to a chance. I'm seeing instances where Reece James has the ball on the far-hand side in a good position, and he just takes a touch and pauses. Ross Barkley does the same thing, gets the ball in a good position and pauses. Hudson-Odoi, the same thing, he pauses. We need to be more incisive because we're just not. And that's the reason why half these chances are either disappearing or we take the chances and we're just overthinking them.
Even in the extra time in the second half, there were still moments of where they were just pausing. There was no pace, there was no urgency, and we absolutely needed a goal then. What kind of positives can you take away from this game? Do you think this is going to be detrimental to the season, or am I being very dramatic?
Detrimental to the season, I wouldn't say that right now. We are still top of the league. I'm not going to use that as something to brag about because we shouldn't be resting on our laurels like that. We built a stable position at the top where we were more than 3 points ahead of all of our rivals. That's basically gone now because City beat United and Liverpool should be beating West Ham tomorrow. But God willing, West Ham get a result. I wouldn't put any faith in them anyway. But the ball's still in our court, at the very least. But there's no positives to take out of this. This is a team we should have beaten. Burnley have only won 1 game in their last 6. They've been poor this season and we should have capitalised on it. We had the lead. Usually when we have a 1-0 lead, we hold it, we don't concede. But we got complacent. And I think it's something that the players are going to have to learn from. But I don't think it's anything... It's nothing that's going to alter the title race or anything like that. We've got games in the future that's really going to do that. Leicester's coming up. Manchester United's coming up. this is just annoying because this should have just been a stat pad. Just get the 3 points and move on. It was so straightforward. And we just got complacent and we threw the game away, and it's just annoying.
Definitely reminiscent, like you say, of previous seasons, and we were hoping this time round, especially the last few games, that we would score, and like you say, we get the 3 points, but today it just didn't come off, did it? But Leicester away next, what are we thinking about that game?
Leicester ain't really been in the best of form this season anyway, but after a performance like that, you're going to need to see more from Chelsea after the international break. And I don't know, it's really hard to speculate because for all we know, we could go through a massive injury crisis in the next international break, so God knows. But we have the capability to be a team like Leicester. They aren't the same Leicester from previous seasons. It's just the one thing we need is just be more consistent and stop being complacent with our play, because we got the lead and we rested on our laurels, and that's what threw the game away, and we can't keep doing that. This just needs to be a performance that the players learn from, because again, this isn't a massive impact on the title race, but at the end of the season it could be a matter of points. That's the difference. And if it is, then we're going to look back at games like this where we were complacent and where we threw away easy points. So all I'm saying is, less of that for the rest of the season. This game is annoying. We'll take the kick in the teeth and we'll just move on. But you need to move on quickly when we come back.
Let's learn those lessons right now then. Lewis, it's great to talk to you. Shame about the result, but, we move on.